Hi, my name is Meg Wolff. I am from the Department of Emergency Medicine and Pediatrics, and I'm here today to tell you about our Transitioning to Residency coaching project. This was funded by the AMA through one of their innovations grants. We had been working with medical students for the past 2 years with a coaching program that the University of Michigan had started to help develop learners achieve their full potential. We realized through this program that learners were struggling with what it meant to be coached, and we were continuously hearing, what does it mean to be coached? How do I get coached? What am I supposed to do to get coached? At the same time, we had been hearing from people nationally that residents were struggling at the transition point from going from undergraduate medical education to becoming an intern. And we realized that there might be an opportunity here to use coaching to help them transition from the undergraduate world to the role of being an intern. Early last year, when the AMA program announced the Innovations Grants, RISE held a brainstorming session to help people come together and collaboratively think of ideas. Through this, again, the gap of medical school to residency transition point was identified as an area that needed further development. In that meeting, we had several people brainstorm different ideas that could be used to help bridge this gap. From that, we started brainstorming ideas and put together a grant to tackle this. In the initial stages of the grant, we had proposed just this transition project, so using coaching through this space. But after the grant was funded and we got the funding and we put together our team, we realized we didn't really understand exactly what it was that the students wanted in this transition space and really what it was that they needed from coaching. So we started with a bunch of focus groups and we asked the students what they needed from coaching and what they thought the benefits were from coaching. We wanted to better understand what it was that this handbook needed to address. So we surveyed students. Over 400 students replied and helped us figure out what the gaps were and what they felt like they didn't understand about coaching and needed help learning how to address. Once we got funded, we heard from the AMA that one of the things they really wanted was to have a product, something that would be live on after this grant was over, that people could use, something that was tangible and that would help learners actually learn how to use coaching. So what we did was we had this idea to develop a handbook for learners. The handbook was designed to have the student voice represented. We wanted the student voice to be loud and clear on this. So every chapter has a different focus. These were based on the things that the students identified in the focus groups. And then every chapter has a faculty lead and a student lead. In most cases, 2 students worked on each chapter. The students led the chapter and the faculty really just provided guidance. As part of the focus groups, we identified different individuals who would be willing to help us with this project. And then we reached out to partners nationally to collaborate with different institutions to develop this project. So we had faculty from institutions across the country, we had students from institutions across the country. We also worked with other individuals at the AMA and worked with other thought leaders in coaching nationally. These individuals helped us identify individuals from broad-reaching institutions that we otherwise would not have been able to collaborate with. After 9 months of work, the handbook will be published in fall 2019 and will be available through the AMA for free for anybody to use. When we started working on this project, we wanted to ensure that we had a well-rounded team. This included working from individuals both within and outside the University of Michigan. So we had help from many people across the country. We had Helen Morgan to help represent the expertise of transitioning from undergraduate medical education to graduate medical education. We had Eric Skye to bring in his expertise on coaching. We had Paula Ross to help with her expertise on qualitative research. And we had Jasmine Jackson to bring in the student perspective. Another part of the project was to pilot a transition coaching program. What this means is that we wanted to pair learners after match day with trained coaches to help them transition from undergraduate medical education to graduate medical education. We used information that we learned from the needs assessment to identify what areas that they would most need help working on. We recruited faculty from many different specialties to participate, and we invited students to participate if they would be staying at the University of Michigan for residency. The goal of this pilot phase was to determine if this would be feasible and to determine if students would actually engage with this project. Over the period of time from match day to when the students started internship, they met with their coaches. On average, most students met with their coaches 3 times. They focused on whatever was important to them to focus on. Goals ranged from focusing on their well-being to focusing on communication skills or focusing on lifelong learning skills. Overall, the program was very successful. The students engaged with the program and thought it was very valuable. We're going to be expanding this program to all students by incorporating this into our existing program and starting earlier in the 4th year.